I'm going to show you how to use a bead loom and how quick and easy it is to build up beadwork on them. These ones are jewel looms. There are lots of other ones on the market, and there's a really good video on the Beadalon website as to how to set up a jewel loom. We use Wildfire for the warp and Nymo for the weft. Nymo is ever so slightly thinner, so that works better. Start by weaving your thread in, going above one, below the next, above the next, and so on along the warp threads, and then pull it up, leaving a bit of a tail for weaving in later. And then you do the opposite, going back in the other direction. So if you came out at the top, you need to make sure you go in the opposite way round. Don't pull it too tight because you don't want to move the warp threads too close to each other. You always put one less bead on than you have warp threads. So I've got 6 warp, so I'm going to start by threading on 5 beads. And then you hold your beads on the needle underneath your warp threads. You want to get 1 bead in between each of those. See there's 1 between each. And then you want to go back through with the needle, making sure you go over the top of all of the warp threads this time. And that will hold them all in place. And you can start work on the next row. So I'm just going to pick up 5 beads. And then you want to hold those underneath. Just move this tail out of the way so it's not going to get tangled in. And then I like to move them together at this point so they sit nicely. And then go back over the top with the needle. So you're basically just wrapping your thread around the warp threads. You don't weave between it anymore. It goes underneath when you first hold the beads up, and then it goes over the top to secure them in position. And you just carry on building up the rows in exactly the same fashion. Until you have your piece the length you'd like it to be. You want to leave a little bit of space for adding the clasp to your bracelet, or you can weave it in to make a bookmark or a belt. And there you go. That's how you add beads to a bead loom.